Today, I'm gonna be going over 5 fishing items that you can add to your tackle box for under $5. And these items are perfect stocking stuffers for those of you looking to do some cheap Christmas shopping for a fisherman you might know. All right, to start things off, if you've watched the channel at all, you can probably guess what I'm about to show you. It's my all-time favorite thing to fish in almost any situation, and that is the pompano jigs. I use these basically everywhere I fish. They're super versatile. Pretty much every fish in the ocean will go after this lure, and they are fantastic. They are cheap, and this is what they look like. If you've never seen one before, this is a pompano jig, or a goofy jig as you can call it. And these are like super duper cheap. You can get like a 3-pack for about $2 if you go for the absolute cheapest ones. You can get some more expensive ones depending on what you're going for. This is actually a cheaper one. Let me see if I can get one of my more expensive ones. So basically the difference you have between your cheap ones and your more expensive ones, this is a Buccaneer. Buccaneer's the brand for this one, the pink one over here. And then this more like reddish pink one is, this is what you get at like a local tackle shop, or if you order them online. This is a lot more of the shape. It's a little bit more circular like that. The non-Buccaneer ones generally have a better hook point, and they tend to hold on better. The shape's a little bit nicer, but they are more expensive. You're paying for that extra little expense. Buccaneer ones, if you're fishing near rocks or heavy structure or anything like that, these are better. Especially so when you lose them, you're not really sad. But these can catch a wide variety of fish. I mean, if you throw them in any situation, you're almost guaranteed to get a fish. That's probably why I decided to do them first. You can fish these alone. I wouldn't really recommend it. I would recommend picking up some teasers for it as well. Sometimes they sell them together, sometimes they don't. I hand make all of my teasers. This is what a teaser looks like right here. You have them attached with a simple loop knot and get them looking like this. Now I'm gonna have these linked below as 2 separate things. One linking to where you can find Buccaneer ones, the really cheap ones, and one to where you can find some of the more expensive ones, depending on what you're going for. But that's pretty much it for the pompano jigs. If you don't have these in your tackle box and you're in the ocean, you're making a mistake. These are the best things you could possibly have. All right, number 2 is a little bit more of a unique item. I don't see it recommended too much, but I wanted to include it. This is probably the absolute cheapest thing on the list today, and it is a pool noodle. This one's a little bit shorter because I've been using it. And I'll explain why this is such a useful thing in a second here. What you can do with the pool noodles is take them and divvy them up into smaller sections like so. And after you've cut them into smaller sections like this, you can use this as a way to store any rigs that you've used. And it's really useful when you have stuff that's really messy and can get tangled. I have an example right here. This is one of the double hook rigs that I use in the surf a lot. And you'll see why I recommend getting a pool noodle just for this situation here in a second. This is gonna be what it's like to unravel it. I have the hook. I store the weight in the hole right here. It works really well. If you want to keep your weight on, I most of the time just take them off. But if you're gonna keep it on, you can put them in the hole right there. And then you pretty much just shove your hooks into this whenever you're storing it. But we're taking it off right now. You can take your hooks off and pretty much just unwind it, and it comes right off. Boom. And then there's an extra little bit that I generally use where I divide the pool noodle like this, do an extra cut like that, so you can store the end of your line right there. Pretty good for sitting down. There we go. When you're done with your rig and everything's all fine and dandy, you can take it right here and pretty much just start at your end. All right, so we'll take it, run it through the pool noodle, and then you can essentially just start wrapping your line around. Boom. Once you get to the hook, find a slot for it, slide it on in there. Keep wrapping, keep wrapping. Once you get to the next hook, same thing, just slide it in somewhere in the noodle to where it stays semi-safe. And then once you get to the weight, you can just take your weight and go right on in there. That's an example. It works in a lot of different ways, and this is pretty much just the best way to store stuff like this without just putting it in a bag and hoping it doesn't get tangled. And the profile's pretty low. I like it, and you can just throw it in bags and not worry about it getting hooked on anything or like that. Another thing I use it for is, where's my thing? So on this flag I have right here, this is actually the flag I take out on my kayak. This is an expensive flag, and I don't want to lose this. And to prevent it from being lost, you can take pool noodles, wrap them around any sort of cylindrical stuff, and pretty much make it to where it doesn't sink. This will float a lot better than it would without whatever. And they're also really bright, so you can see them if they fall in the water. So that works out. Cool. Pool noodle complete. On to number 3. All right, so number 3 is a little bit more straightforward, but I cannot emphasize enough how amazing this product is. This is small scissors. These are so good. Like these are, I don't use any other small scissors, or I mean, I don't use anything else to cut my line. So these are Cuda brand. There's a few more other brands. I use the Cuda brand because I think I paid $3 max for one of these pairs, and they are so good. They will cut through anything. So here I have a 100-pound monofilament line. And I mean, as you can expect, it just destroys it, just cuts through it real clean, like boom, 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 no problems whatsoever. The real reason people get scissors like these is to cut braid line, which is a lot more complicated. All right, so this is my absolute biggest reel that I have. It's a Penn Spinfisher 8500. I have not used this guy in a while, and I really should. This thing has 85-pound braid on it. That easy. This thing annihilates braid. And generally when you have problems with cutting and stuff, you know how you have to like make it super tight and that makes it easier to cut? This, nah, it can be all weak. The scissors just go right through it. These are so good. It can even cut metal line too, but I don't recommend it. It does put a little bit of wear on the scissors, but they're super cheap to replace. It's just use them on what you want to use them for. But yeah, I don't recommend anything other than this. These are really good scissors, and they're super low profile, which makes them even better for carrying them around. All right, and number 4, we have some swim baits. These are the Z-Man 10X Tough. Laztech. I don't really pronounce that part correctly, regardless. In the Slam Shady color. I think the Slam Shady color is the most versatile. It's just a perfect color. It's like that slightly off-white, just sparkly color. I think it's just a perfect color for almost any situation. So I throw this basically whenever I don't know what I'm doing and I want to test out the water, see if anything's biting. And there's a reason these things, I'm recommending this brand over other ones. And you're about to see why. This is why. You see that? That is why you use this brand. Not many other brands do that. When you're fishing for stuff that is just absolutely crazy in the water, like pufferfish, lizardfish, they will rip this thing and tear it. And I mean, I'll actually break this one so you guys can see how much you have to pull it to break it. So it didn't even break. It didn't even break. Look at that. I mean, a fish is not gonna break this. They're most likely gonna pick at it and tear through it before anything gets destroyed. But that's what makes these super awesome. You can also fish the Salt Strong ones. They have one in a Slam Shady color as well. I think those maybe are a little bit better when it comes to action, but you are gonna blow through them more. They're gonna break. I mean, I use these just because they last a lot longer and the trade-off isn't really much. So that's that, the swim bait. All right, and very last product we have, you don't really know you need one until you use it, so maybe you don't need it, but if you do get it, you won't regret it, and that is a de-hooker. Everyone uses pliers, use a de-hooker instead. These things are so much faster, they get fish off so fast. I mean, I have video of them being used, and I mean, these things are nice. Like, I'm not trying to hype them up or like make them sound way cooler than what they are. They're super cheap. You can get them in a lot of different sizes. I pretty much just use a small one. I have videos of me using it. Probably gonna show them right now because it's that simple of a product. This is great. You wanna use these. It keeps you away from the stuff that you don't really wanna touch. And I do wanna include 2 more products as a little bit of a bonus. I didn't wanna put this one on a list. It's more like an honorable mention. This is a, what is this? I don't know how to call this. It pretty much is just like a cover for your lures when they're on your rod. Let me just grab one of my rods real quick. So right here, I have my Toadfish combo. This thing's super awesome. If you're interested in a combo, I have this linked in almost every video I make. So this is a normal rod and reel. You can see this is actually the product I showed off. I was fishing it the other day on the kayak where I caught fish. It was raining, horrible. I couldn't make a video. We're gonna use this little sleeve here. Just open it up. I don't use them too much, and that's why I'm kind of keeping them as an honorable mention, but they work really well at protecting your stuff. So if you have this on, say you're transporting it in a car, or you don't want to get it all tangled, this works really well. And this is what I use pretty much for just transporting, preventing it from getting hooked. There's really not much to it other than that. I don't think there's any like extra purposes for it, but it's really good at what it does, and it protects your stuff from getting caught, snagged, or messing up anything while you're transporting stuff. So that's why I wanted to include it, so you guys got a chance to check it out. It's a pretty good item. All right, last bonus item. See this? It's not under $5. We have super epic shirts. Check them out. They're super sweet. This is one of the sheep's head we caught the other day. We put it on a shirt. The shirt is sick. It got redesigned. So if you saw the video and saw the shirt, it's redesigned. It's really cool. Go check it out. I'll have a link in the description. And that's pretty much gonna do it for the 5 under $5 for fishing equipment. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you wanna see like a 5 under $10, 5 under $100. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this style of content. I hope you learned a few things and maybe are interested in picking up a few things that are useful to your tackle box or something like that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye-bye.